in Lagos, Nigeria, where rescuers have been working through the night to try and reach any survivors of an horrific plane crash. The commercial airliner slammed into a densely populated neighborhood just a few kilometers from an airport on Sunday afternoon. All 153 people on board the Dana Air flight were killed. Officials say they've recovered the bodies of at least 10 people on the ground.
The plane was coming from capital Abuja. The aircraft caught fire immediately, sending billows of thick black smoke into air at the Iju neighborhood. Nigeria's Civil Aviation Authority said there were no survivors on board the plane. The cause of the crash is not yet known. Thousands of onlookers gathered at the crash site as rescue services searched the rubble for survivors.
Details are emerging very slowly in one of the worst air tragedies in recent times. Rescue operations are in full swing, but hopes of recovering any passengers alive are slim. Official sources fear more casualties on the ground, but have been unable to confirm any figures till now. While the cause of the crash remains unclear, the cockpit recorder has been recovered and handed over to the police. The Dana Airlines flight had taken off from Lagos but was on its way back after developing some complications. Eyewitness reports say the plane crashed after it struck a two-story building and burst into flames.
The children were playing outside when they started shouting that I should leave because the plane was about to land on top of my head. When I looked up, the plane had passed. The next thing, we heard a sound and we noticed that the plane had already crashed.
And the 153 people on board the Dana Air flight that plowed into a residential neighborhood not far from Murtala Mohammed International Airport. Now, the area where this plane went down is a densely populated residential neighborhood. When we were there, we saw flames still shooting up into the sky. We could see the air was thick with smoke, and we could smell the very, very intense and pungent odor of jet fuel on the ground. There were people surrounding the crash site, which has made it extremely difficult for rescue personnel to get close to it. There were just so many people, and the streets are so narrow, and the buildings so densely packed. We saw video of people climbing on top of the wreckage. When we were there, we saw people basically rubbernecking, taking pictures, a scene of utter devastation, and very chaotic, I might add.
Nigeria does not have a good air safety record, with 3 similar disasters in the last decade. Whilst the investigation into this crash continues, the President of Nigeria has called for 3 days of national mourning.